It's all temporary, all pain
Yeah,
stops eventually.
impermanence.
Yes, it is, thankfully. And I think that that's one of the more important lessons for being on the planet Earth. I was pondering that one recently, the idea that our attachment to permanence causes the suffering, right? Buddha was right about that. He was like slam dunk,
Wow.
right? It's our attachments, right? The things that come in. You get the puppy dog, you fall in love with the dog, and then it gets, you know,
Yeah,
the ice cream cone, you can eat it or watch it melt, but either way, it's not going to be there,
yeah.
Ants are going to get it. And so it's the attachment, the clinging. But at the same time, I'm also seeing that there's another aspect of our lives that is not temporary. That the idea of the Akashic records, we are in a field of quantum information, sort of ones and zeros. That's what the universe actually is. There's no matter, there's just on and off, ones and zeros, appearance and absence of. And that Akashic records, the quantum information exists permanently. It's the truth. If you are, walking a specific path through the universe and you live a specific life, nobody ever did that before, ever. Not specifically, the way that you did it. And so therefore, all the higher watermarks, all the things you were proud about, even the ones that you forgot about, I believe that it continues to be permanently.
That's so cool.
That makes me feel a lot better than when I first read the Buddha's first noble truth, life is suffering. I was like, what? This guy's supposed to be enlightened. There's nothing light. There's nothing light about that at all. It's really heavy, man.
Kidding.
Um, but it's this new realization has helped me to sort of make sense of it. It's just, yes, it's impermanent in the third dimension, in the physical world of, you know, height, width, weight, speed, all that stuff. All speed eventually comes to a stop, and that's fine. But what occurred always will have been, if that makes sense. Your life, your path, the love that you've sowed in the world, that's permanent. You just you just breathe more air into the cosmic balloon of the universe. Everybody's life breathes a little bit more into that knowingness that is, the one mind seeing through our eyes. So that makes me
That's so
that
cool.
makes me feel better. And when I think about that kind of stuff, it helps just distract me from my physical form, my 3D saying, ah, I've
Yeah.
been bawling. I've been crying my ass off in pain.
Oh my God.
There's nothing else to do. Like I'll try to move like but that's that humbled place that opens the door to light. You know, the the absolute suffering, absolute fear, absolute hopelessness. I think that that's when human beings become teachable and we have the capability to expand out of the person into the transpersonal experience.
You're a good dude if you can realize that in the middle of it.
In the middle of the pain,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it has to get bad enough, you know, that sort of like I'm resisting, and then you reach exhaustion, right? And the cycle of effort and exhaustion is that's just life, right? But in that releasing, you have the capability, you're right, to go either into the what did I do to deserve this? You know what I mean? Like, is this karma? Or is somebody else to blame? Maybe it's somebody else's fault, and all that stuff goes on in the ego consciousness, looking for a way to frame it within its own tiny construct of the physical reality called planet Earth. And then you expand that out because it's not enough to, well, what if there's more here? What if I didn't understand the whole thing when I concluded that this planet is screwed, that life sucks in a human body, all that stuff is just a story that I told myself, and it doesn't mean it's true. I just invested myself in it. You know,
Wow.
we're gonna call this the pain session.
Yeah.
But It's yeah, that there's just so much that I've come to realize as a result of sort of looking over the edge. Um,
Wow.
and at the same time, I've also recognized, and maybe you have too, I'm guessing, that even in those dark spaces of giving up and, hopelessness, loss of will, there's still the spark that is kindleable. It doesn't mean that it will be kindled, right? You might just decide to kind of let it go out. That's what happens eventually to all of us. But when you decide, I will fight back against gravity, I will stand up, I will live my life, I choose to live. That's the reanimating thought, you know. I am alive and I will continue to be alive. And I'm not going to try to put explanations on how I'm going to heal it because I know it's just going to happen. I know the suffering is going to go away. And I know there's a version of me in some potential parallel future offset from where I am right now into the terminal vector of I can't take it anymore. I can just step into that parallel timeline, if you will, of seeing my fully formed body in its perfection. There's a version of every single person. If you really get back to the origin of its DNA information about your arm should look like this. And when it's, if well nurtured, the human body will look like this and be able to do that. And we get in the way, of that unfolding in so many different ways. But I do believe that the quantum information about our perfect form, about our fully powerful self, always exists anyway. The question is, are you the one that's going to put that hat on, or are you choosing to live the version of you that is, experiencing this suffering from a victim standpoint, or you're just kind of going, that's what it is. Yes, I feel the pain. Yes. And so what? So what? It is what it is. There's no drama about it. I'm not comparing this to anything else. This is just what my day is like today. That if I don't occasionally do this, I'll knot up in my lower back and lose feeling in my right hand. So what?
That is life on life's terms.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Yes. My terms. I choose not to feel like a victim. That's a choice that anybody can make.
That's pretty cool.
Be out in nature and ground themselves in the process that leads to food and, much more importantly, leads to environmental balance. Woohoo! He ran away. Let's get you back up. Come on, sweetheart. Back inside. Back inside. There you go with your friends. Yep. This is great, right?